his avodah. And that's why, as we'll see, he came with these strange questions and strange behaviours to Yitzhak, and Yitzhak accepted them. Because the avodah of Esau was to act out the life of the third base of Mikdash, which is to go into the darkest and most difficult places in spirituality, that's called a Zedom, and to fill them with light, to show that Elikis is everywhere, to bring everything Ma'ad Kalfos Oretz. So in other words, he had to go further in his avodah than any of the other of us, had he done his job properly. So what does he come with? He comes along to his father and says, do you take master on salt and straw? In other words, we're expanding the halacha because everything can become holy, everything can become sacred. He marries Canaanite women. Now, if he was a total idiot, which he wasn't, he was doing something very stupid because they're accursed. But no, he's saying to his father, I can marry such women and I can drag them to Kedusha. You can't, Yankov couldn't, Avram couldn't, but in the end the world will be Modeh Deus Hashem, all the nations will acknowledge Hashem, everybody will come back to their source, so I can do that and bring the Netzosis out of even such people. So where did he go wrong? What happened? What went wrong with Esau? So he fell into the trap and the lure of this world as it is. As we explained many times before, his other name is Edom. And Edom is characterized from the fact that when he looked at the lentils that Yaakov was cooking, he said, I'll have this odoma azeh, this red stuff. He would only look at the surface. He wouldn't call it even lentils. He wouldn't acknowledge it was a mitzvah food cooked for Yitzhak for the Shiva. He wouldn't acknowledge it had Kedusha and it was Yaakov the Tzaddik had cooked it. He just took the world as it is at face value. And he didn't penetrate any further. That was his job, to uncover Elikis everywhere, and he fell into the trap and lure of this world as it stands. So he looked for the brochas and not for the b'choira. He looked for the good times, but not for the service of Hashem. And in the end, he's become a symbol and embodies Olam HaSheker. Because as far as say that you take the word name Esau and rearrange the letters, you get the word shov, falsehood. He actually began to embody Olam HaSheker as it is. He began a living symbol of everything that was wrong with the world. And he used this to fool his father. As you remember when we were young, we were in school or cheder, and it was a nice sunny afternoon, or it was nearly Hanukkah, and we really didn't want to learn, and we'd rather think about, I don't know, our Hol HaMoed outing, or our Hanukkah gelt. But the Rebbe or the teacher wanted us to pay attention, so what did we do? Well, maybe you didn't, because you were good, innocent little children when you were young. You'd fix your eyes on the teacher or Rebbe like this, as if you were paying absolute rapt attention, and therefore he wouldn't ask you any questions, as obviously Kryman's paying very careful attention, and Kryman's mind would be wandering off thinking about something else totally different. In other words, the principle is, if you want to fool someone, you have to appear to be doing what they expect of you, and then behind the scenes you can do what you want. Right. So, Olam HaSheker is illusion, and this is how Esau worked. He created an illusion that, yes, I'm going out in the fields, breaking the clippers and bringing home the Canaanite women, because that's the right thing to do. But actually, I'm going out into the fields having a good time, bringing home the Canaanite women because I'm wicked. But he used the illusion to cast a spell and a pall over his father. It's quite clear from all of this. Oh, yes, and one more point actually, sorry. He brings home the robes. If you remember, there's a medrash that he wore special robes, and these were the robes of Odom Rishon. Now, it's very symbolic, this. The wicked Nimrod had these robes, and Esau killed them and brought them home. What was the significance of that? Because when Hashem dressed Odom and Chava in robes, he was saying that you can come back to Gan Eden. You're not finished. I honour you, I respect you, I'm clothing you, I'm showing my love continues, and you still have a role and importance in the world. The fact you've sinned and fallen through is terrible, but the fact is there's a way to mend. Don't just go around in little grass skirts. Dress properly. You're children of Hashem. When Yaakov wore them, when he went into his father, the smell of Gan Eden came out of them. Because the symbol of getting back the robes is the idea of getting back the lost light, the lost Netzosis that fallen into the Goyim, the clippers, and saying we can mend the sin of Odom Rishon. We can repair everything. We can bring honour and greatness to the image of man because he's made B'Tselem Elokim. So when Esau caught hold of these and brought them back, he was symbolically saying to his father when he wore them that I'm going to be the person who rectifies the ultimate sin. And when Yankov put them on, and Yankov smelt Gan Eden, and he thought, yeah, this person is going to do that. Taki's going to rectify the ultimate sin. And he gave him the brachas. It just happened to be Yankov and not Esav. That's the problem. But this brings us to the point that such avodah, what he was meant to be doing, which was to bring the light of the Bayis Shlishi and the ultimate Geula into the world so it could actually happen one day, couldn't go lost. That potential of Esav could not go lost. It wasn't a personal matter. It was a matter for all Klal Yisrael. So it had to be saved and it had to be brought back to us. So how was it done? When the twins were born, there's a fascinating symbol. Yankov is holding on to the heel of his brother. Now for Yitzchak, who didn't know the prophecy, perhaps he looked at it and thought, he's going to be running after his brother, he'll run after the great Esav, the future of Klal Yisrael, he'll cling to him, he'll be Dovik and Rebbe. Maybe that's how he understood what Yankov was doing. But Rivka, when she looked at it, thought, hello, that's very interesting. He's going to pull him down, crawl up over him and take his place. So when it says that Yitzchak loved Esav and Yankov, and Rivka loved Yankov, Ahava in Torah, we mustn't confuse it with the sort of romantic English notions of love. The Shroshim from the Radak says that Ahava comes from the root hebes, half, to give. So love in Torah means giving, concentrating, putting your focus on, putting your energy in. So Yitzchak looked at Esav, he's the Bechor. I'm putting my energy in him because one day we're going to daven B'Shem Elokei Avram, Elokei Yisrael, Elokei Esav. So he put his energy into it. Rivka, who knew the prophecy, said, no, that's not going to work. So she put her energy, her focus on Yankov. Because if we read it just as love, what do you mean? He loved Esav, Yitzchak. He didn't love Yankov? Of course he loved Yankov. Loved in a normal parental way. But the focus, the energy went into Esav. Likewise, in this week's Seder, it says that Yisrael, not Yankov, but the highest spiritual level, Yisrael loved Yosef more than all his sons. So it was a gashmistic love. I mean, he was on that level, Yankov, that he just loved, he's my favourite, my little Dolly Wowo. I mean, Ben Sekunim, his son of his old age, Binyamin was 8-9 years younger. He was the little baby of the family. It means he put his focus on Yosef because he knew he would be the leader of the next generation, as the dream showed, and as an eventuality what happened to Mitzrayim also proved. He would be the leader of the Shotim, he would drive them around and manipulate them to Teshuvah, and he would be the builder of Klal Yisrael's place in Mitzrayim and not any of the others. So it means putting your focus on. So now he's holding the heel, and now begins a 97-year climb, and it becomes more and more spiritual. He holds the heel as a symbol of what will happen. At 15, he buys the status and role of Esav.